Now, your forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us late on your Thursday night. Throughout our Thursday, it's been dry but gloomy overall, but now this next wintry system is moving on into the area. In fact, there is a winter weather advisory set for our areas up north in McLean, Livingston, Ford, Iroquois, and just in Indiana and now in Benton as well until Friday morning, where we are going to continue to see a little bit of a wintry mix. As you can see on our satellite and radar here, it's a little bit of a heavy band moving across our viewing area. Now, if you are south of I-74, mainly just rain showers, but if you are up north there in those counties like I just mentioned, we'll be seeing some significant snowfall here in the next 12 hours. But temperatures today, just like the past few days, still rather cool for us, only into the 40s and still hanging on into the 40s in some areas, but we will be dipping down into the mid to low 30s throughout our night. But just how long will this cold front be sticking with us, as well as all of this snowfall? I will have that answer coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
There's nothing but hard decisions to make now.
And one board's decision could mean furloughs for half of their county employees, who could be on the chopping block. 2 shootings on one day in the same city, and they were only blocks apart. We told you a man escaped from jail last weekend. Now we have video catching him in the act.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
Obviously, there's a lot of numbers that we're just not going to have, and they're not available soon enough.
The Macon County Board is delaying a decision that impacts almost half of county employees. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. Board members are considering furloughs that could last months, but they say they want to get more information about just how big the impact would be before making any changes. WCIA 3's Andy Olson has the story.
The Macon County Board says the county can continue to pay its employees, but they only have enough money to make it to May 16th. Now the board has a tough decision with only so many options.
May 16th coming up real soon. You either make changes, you borrow your way out, or you run off the tracks. It's just, there's 3 solutions.
Departments relying on general funds are being considered for furloughs. Others that get grant money are not. One department where thinning could happen is the sheriff's office. Calls to them have been halved, and the county has released 35 people from the jail to prepare for a possible infection. But if furloughing employees is their recommendation, the sheriff's office in county building won't look the same as it used to.
I can tell you there's going to be fewer deputies on the street if this goes into effect. The service that the county provides, whether it's in the county clerk's office or the circuit clerk's office or the recorder of deeds office, those services are going to not be as efficient as they have been in the past.
The board says 85% of their budget is personnel, and the county has lost 35% of the revenue since the pandemic started. The decisions they have are difficult, but board chair Kevin Greenfield says they're running out of options.
All the easy decisions have been made a long time ago. There's nothing but hard decisions to make now. And they're decisions we don't look forward to. They're decisions we obviously none of us want to make. But due to the circumstances, we're going to have to make some choices.
In Decatur, Andy Olson, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
The board will consider this option again next week, but they say they want to decide sooner rather than later. We have an update on a COVID-19 breakout at a facility in Decatur. A 6th person has died at Fairhaven's Senior Living. 33 of the county's 46 confirmed cases are connected to Fairhaven's. We told you last night about family members who are concerned about how the facility is handling the outbreak, and they aren't the only ones. Representative Sue Scheer says something needs to change going forward if help is going to come.
If they need help with protective equipment, they need to let us know, is what the governor's office has told me, and we will put them on the list to get them the equipment. But it just seems like they are not taking this serious enough, and they're not doing what they need to be doing, and it's absolutely unacceptable.
Pictures surfaced on social media showing Fairhaven staff not wearing proper protective equipment. Macon County officials sent those to regulatory committees for review. Yesterday, Fairhavens told us, quote, "We are doing everything we are supposed to do according to the CDC and the Public Health Department." The state's Department of Public Health announced another 1,100 coronavirus cases and 125 deaths across the state. That's the most lives lost in 24 hours in Illinois. The state has reached almost 26,000 confirmed cases. 1,072 people have died. The president is letting governors decide when to open their states. The guidelines to reopening the nation are in 3 phases. Phase 1 maintains strict mitigation, while phases 2 and 3 soften those restrictions. The president presented his plan in a conference call with governors. They will decide when to implement each phase. Now, Illinois is joining 6 other states to form a partnership for reopening. Those states are Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Kentucky, and Ohio. They will share information so each state is on the same page when it comes to testing, contact tracing, and measuring the rate of infection.
We are committing, all of us, to work in close coordination as a region to most effectively reopen our economy with a fact-based, data-driven approach. Each state will design its own plan, but with shared priorities.
Wisconsin has already moved its stay-at-home order back through May 24th. On the same day, we learned 22 million Americans are out of work and others aren't getting their government-promised stimulus checks when they should. Some companies are hiring. But as WCIA 3's Paul Cicchini learned, those jobs could put you on the front lines.
In the past month, we've hired over 500 teammates, and we're still looking to hire more.
While most of the nation's going through a recession, grocery stores are still in high demand.
Any and all locations, checkers, baggers, stockers, pretty much all positions throughout the store.
That includes Schnucks, the St. Louis-based supermarket chain. But hiring now comes with additional education and precautions on the job.
We make sure they wash their hands frequently, avoid touching their face, and, we also let them know what symptoms to look for.
While only one Schnucks employee in central Illinois has been diagnosed with COVID-19, the company does have a paid time off plan in place.
Whether they have contracted the disease or whether they have been put on like a mandatory quarantine.
Schnucks has several safety measures in place, including plexiglass at checkout lanes, service areas, and pharmacy counters. There are also announcements in the store and floor decals reminding shoppers about social distancing. The Champaign County Sheriff is investigating a death threat against County Clerk Aaron Ammons and State Representative Carol Ammons' daughter. Aaron Ammons says he received an anonymous letter at his Urbana office on Monday. It said the couple's daughter, Tatiana, would be killed if Carol Ammons became chair of the county's Democratic Party. Ammons was elected to that position last night. She and her husband say it's not the first time they have faced death threats, but it is a first for their daughter to be a target. Tatiana Ammons is running for County Board District 11.
It's not new that things like this happen to people who are out front or who have been seen as sort of leaders in your community and things like that or across the nation. So it's not that it's new, but for Champaign County and for local politics, it's different.
The Champaign County Sheriff has offered Tatiana some extra protection if she or the family feels it's needed. As we first told you on the WCIA 3 News app, Champaign police are investigating 2 shootings that happened a few hours and a few blocks away from each other. The first happened around 2:15 near the intersection of South Country Fair Drive and West Springfield Avenue. Police found shell casings in the road. They were told a 23-year-old man had been shot and he was at a house elsewhere. He was taken to the hospital but is expected to survive. Police say he was hit while inside a vehicle from someone shooting from another car. They don't have any suspects. 2.5 hours later on West John Street, just west of Kenwood, about 2 blocks away from the first scene, police were called to a second shooting. They found a 17-year-old who had been seriously hurt. He was taken to the hospital. No word on how he's doing tonight. Police say a suspect walked up to him in the street, shot him, and got away in a vehicle. Police don't know if the 2 shootings are related. We have new details in a case our Target 3 team has been following. We have obtained video of an inmate escaping from the Macoupin County Jail through an open records request. We told you before, William Kavanaugh broke out on Sunday night. He was found about 15 minutes south of the jail Monday night at a friend's home. Here's the video of him making a break for it. To escape the jail, officials say Kavanaugh went into a closet, crawled through the ceiling, and out that second-story window. Investigators believe another inmate helped him escape. He was previously charged in a 2015 murder. Champaign County lost a longtime community leader. Tom Costello died this week. Costello worked at the CU Mass Transit District for 40 years. He started as a driver before serving as assistant managing director and retiring in 2014. He also taught communications at the U of I. He did a lot for the Central Illinois community. He was involved in countless charities and organizations, including Champaign Rotary and the Community Foundation of East Central Illinois. His co-worker of 20 years says he made the Mass Transit District feel like a family. To see more about his legacy, go to WCIA.com right now. Ayo and Kofi are going for the NBA draft, and their Illini coach has their backs the entire way. Plus, people are getting stimulus checks, but businesses are also getting a helping hand. Who's next on the list? And one company is trying to help slow down the coronavirus, but their tests won't tell you exactly if you have it.